Hello, and how are you today? Welcome once again to this tutorial. And for today, we are going to talk about on creating video lectures using Microsoft PowerPoint. Let's get started. Okay, so before we get started, just a little bit of objectives for this tutorial. First one is, why would I want to use PowerPoint for video lectures or creating videos? Well, this is actually my preference. I normally use other software before, but I noticed the latest version of PowerPoint, it is much more capable now. So it is able to create videos smoothly. And for simple video creations, I would go for this one for the reason that it's readily available and it's very easy to use. You already know how to use PowerPoint, right? So why not use it for videos as well? The next one is the basic setup. So let me talk about basic setup. Well, I do not really have a basic setup because I'm using a desktop right now, so my desktop is I have a little bit high specs, but not really that high. I have an i5 and a 16 gig memory. So that's pretty high already. So I think an i5 with a 4 gig memory would do. I don't normally recommend i3, but of course it can still process the videos, but it will just take a little bit more time. All right. Now, I will just go directly to demonstration on how to use PowerPoint because it is much easier. And by the way, I'm also using PowerPoint to create these videos. How awesome is that, right? So let's get started. All right. So for this lecture, I'm going to utilize my existing slides. So I will just go straight to setting up my presentation. But before anything else, let's check first if the features or the video recording features are actually enabled within PowerPoint. So for video recording, all you have to do is go to slideshow. By the way, again, this is using Office 365. So I think Office 2013 up, they already have video recording options, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so under slideshow, you can see there the record slideshow. So you have the option from the beginning or from the current slide. So the good thing about this one is that we can record for each particular slide. We don't have to go through all the slides in one setting. So it's if you don't have the time, you just have around 2 or 5 minutes to record a video for this particular slide, then go record it. And you can do that one easily. So you under the slideshow, and as you can see here, it is ready and it is enabled. And if it is not there, probably not all the features of PowerPoint is installed. So you might have to check with your with some IT person who can assist you. And other option, especially for those people who want or teachers who are actually doing trainings, and you want to illustrate something, and you want to illustrate that. Let's say, for example, you're doing something in Excel and you want to show it within your presentation. You can always do that, or you can also do that in PowerPoint. Simply go to Insert, and as you can see here, the screen recording is actually available. Right now is currently disabled because I am recording this video right now. So that's really cool. So let's get started. And I have just selected my presentation. This is my class during this summer term or online classes. So I'll just select this one for this demonstration. So basically, I have here the slides. So if I want to record something, I can easily go to slideshow and then record slideshow or record from current slide. Now, when this comes out, okay, you should see something like this one. So you can see that screen right there, and it's really something that you will also see for yourself. Now, options, what options that you can do from this point? There are several options that you can do. For one, you can disable the video at the lower right of the screen. You can turn off the camera if you don't want to show your camera to be on the slide itself. Turn it off. So, okay, you can turn off that camera, and you can also turn off the microphone if you want to. And then what else? You have the record, stop, and replay buttons here. You can actually use this one when recording the video. And then the good thing about my setup is that I have two monitors. So this is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but it should not be a hindrance. You can always do this one even if you just have one monitor. So what will happen is that you will see this screen if you only have one monitor. Right now I'm using, when you're using two screens, remember when you are presenting something in your laptop and you are on presenter view. So if you have two screens or dual monitors, the slide presentation is actually shown on the second screen, while this screen that you are seeing right now will be on the first screen. So you can actually see what is happening on your current slide, but it doesn't limit you basically, because you will really see also, even if you have only one monitor, you can see what is going to happen. Your animations will all be there and everything else. Okay, and of course you let's say you have slides and you also have notes. All you have to do is click on notes. This particular area is a little bit small and you have to scroll down from time to time if you have some notes in here, but this is not going to be shown in your actual video. Just like when you're doing presentations, this is actually acting like a presenter view as well. Okay, now if you want to remove recordings, do not delete it manually from the slide because it doesn't go off. So you have to clear. You see this option here? You can click on clear recordings on current slide. Okay, clear recordings on current slide. Some settings, well, that's if you have multiple cameras, you have other cameras, you have other microphones, you might want to select which one. All right, then what about markings or markers? Of course you can use that markers. So let's say for example you want to illustrate something, you want to color something. Okay, so you want to highlight something, okay, you want to underline something. So you can do that one easily. So yes, and you can erase them as well. So that is actually very handy. And of course you can move to your next slide. So before you move to your next slide, always make sure that you are done. Try to avoid try to make a pause before, try to pause rather before you proceed to the next slide, before you talk again. Okay, so that there's a gap also, because sometimes your voice will be cut off, especially if you're talking continuously to the next slide. Try to breathe as well. Okay, give yourself some space. So when you're done talking, you have the option, you can do it by slide or you can do it continuously. If you do it continuously, the only suggestion I have is you pause a little bit for 5 seconds before you start talking in the next slide. What happens is that the recording is actually continuous. Microsoft will do the cutting of the videos that you have recorded, or if you're just using audio, Microsoft or PowerPoint will take care of cutting off the audio or video that correspond to that particular slide. Okay, so yeah, so once you're done recording, we normally have what we call the post-processing Right now, I really cannot illustrate to you the actual recording, but I think you get the idea. It's actually very easy to use. So once you record this one, okay, there's a timer, then you can start talking, and yeah, you can just go on continuously, or you can do it one slide at a time. Okay, so let's proceed to the next part, which is the post-processing. For this part, we are going to try to edit, or what would be your options if you want to edit your video. So obviously we don't really have that much options compared to Adobe Premiere, probably OBS, but I think it would also be more than enough for this to be managed, I think. Just make sure that you are able to do your lectures continuously and clearly. Okay, so one of the options that you can do when you have the video here, because you can resize this one. For one, you can move the video anywhere you like in the slide. Okay, and you can place it big, you can make it small, so you have that option. What about under the video tools? So basically this is the only area where we can do something with our video. Video shape, you have a lot of options here. So you can make it a heart, you can make it oval, whatever you like. Okay, and then color, you can change color if you want to. You want it old school, perhaps something like that, black and white. If you want to make some corrections, you can also do the same. And then not much use. Then video styles, how would you want your video to look? So you have options here. So you want it like a TV. Let me just undo and go back to my original color. You can make a circle, something like that. You have a lot of options basically. So those are your options. Video border, you can also do the same. You can do that one as well. Video effects, you have a shadow preset. You can try this yourself once you already have a video on your own. And then playback. So trimming is one of the most important thing that you have to consider when you already have the recording. So, and one thing also is make sure to maximize the video here, I mean the volume rather. Maximize the volume so that you will not once you upload this somewhere like YouTube, for example, you can easily your audience will not be having difficulty hearing your voice. And before anything else, always make sure you have a good headset as well, because the microphone also matters. So please take time to consider that one. Now, trim video. Trim video, this is the trimming option is actually very simple in PowerPoint. We do not have much option here, to be honest with you. So normally you can only cut off at the end, I mean at the beginning and at the end part. So it's kinda bad, but that's what I said. You have to be very careful when you are doing your recordings, so that you would avoid redoing those things. Okay, so you can trim a little bit, just move this green. You can trim the red one. So let's say for example you want to trim the end part, just move the red bar to whichever you want to the video to end. So just click on, you can see the marker, the blue one, so that's where when you play it records. So yep, that's where if you want to stop it there, so you have to move it there. And then once you click OK, the video will be trimmed. Okay, so let me just undo it. So that's our option for trimming videos. You can explore this one on your own. And then fade, if you want to do a fade to a certain period, so start the video clip with a fade effect, you can do that as well. And fade out also a certain seconds at the end of the video. Volume set to high. Always start automatically, because every time the slide opens, the video will start automatically. The option to play full screen, unless you want your face to be the one seen full screen on the slide, then you can click on this option. Okay, then all the rest you can leave them as is. Insert captions, not much, that's okay. Then so far that's it basically. So you can do this one at a time. So for each slide that I have here, I have a video at the bottom, so you can have the option where you want to place them or where you want to what do you want, what effects would you want for them. Okay, so after that one, so let's say for example you have the videos completed across all slides, your presentation or your videos are there already. You have to save. Okay, by the way, always save your file from time to time. Do not forget that one. Save as much as you can. Then we now go to video processing. So the way to do it is go to File and then go to Export. Then you create the video. Okay. Now, most of the time, what I would recommend is you do at least an HD. Okay. If not, go for a full 1080p, full HD, because this is much clearer. I would recommend a 1080p if you're doing, let's say for example, a screen recording. So let's say you're illustrating something on your computer on how to do this and something like that. I would recommend you to do that one. Otherwise, the HD version should be okay for a slide presentation. Even on 480p is okay also, but I would suggest go with the 720p or HD. So you create the video, save the file where you want it to be placed, and then exporting it would take some time depending on your computer processing power. And of course your computer memory, those things matter, especially during this part. And yeah, just wait for it. Okay. Okay, we are now at the end. I hope you learned something from this video tutorial. I may not be very detailed in such a way that I do not want to make this video very long as well. So I hope you learned something today. Again, so thank you for watching. So you can subscribe, you can comment below, and stay safe.